Hello, Joy family. Welcome to the Joyful House and welcome to this episode of Crafts of the Heart. This is update number 7 of both projects, the Joy Sweater and Mayangi the Gorilla. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great start to your weekend. And I am excited to show you the progress that I have made this week on my Crafts of the Heart projects. So if you're ready, then be prepared to be amazed because Mayangi is coming more and more to life. She does not have her arms and legs yet, but she already gives the best hugs. But without further ado, let me show you the progress we've made this week. And here we go. Look at that. She is looking amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Now, I did get one arm made. So, this is what it will look like when attached. But anyway. So, I did stop a little bit early on her, so all we got done this week was we attached her head to her body, and we made her breast and chest plate, or tummy, I guess. This is her tummy tum, and then I got an arm made. I was going to go ahead and start the other arm, but I didn't because it's better to do it and keep going. And I could definitely get her other arm made in the 2-hour frame and probably have time left over because I did this time. However, that's okay. I probably will stop so I did this arm in about an hour, and it didn't take long to attach her head to the body, and it didn't take long at all to make this. This was a very small little piece that really, it was one piece, and then when I made the second one, in that second one I attached them, and then when I put her tummy on, which is just a circle, like if you were starting a hat, when I put her tummy on, they had me on the last round of the tummy. When I went around in the round, I included the breast to the tummy and then literally just whip stitch it on. So it didn't take very long at all to do this. And so I think what I'm going to do this coming week is just make the other arm and stop there, because when it comes to the hands, and I may go ahead and start doing the legs as well. I don't know. But the reason so the fingers and the toes are made out of the gray cotton yarn and they're made individually. And so when I do those, I do want to make sure that I'm doing those in one setting so that they come out evenly. I'm afraid that if I did like half of them and did the other half later, you know how it is that your tension can change and all of that. So I do want to make sure that I'm trying to make those as close at the same time as possible. So we'll see. But anyway, nonetheless, this is Mayangi, and she is, like I said, coming along so nicely. I do want to say thank you to all of you that watched last week and have put in your thoughts that I should definitely make Matondo, which is the baby gorilla. At this point, I am planning to make Matondo as part of this Crafts of the Heart project. So I'm in the process of trying to buy some black eyelash yarn. I'm going to leave Mama Mayangi in this faux fox yarn, and I'm going to buy the thinner eyelash yarn to make Matondo in, and that will give him more of that like fuzzy, fluffy, well, she's more fluffy And that'll give him more of that kind of stringy, fuzzy look, like a little newborn should. So I'm excited about that. So thank you so much for your help in that. All right. So that was the gorilla. I did her first. And I know normally I show you the sweater first. I was excited. I was excited to show her to you. So I'm kind of doing my projects backwards today, but that's okay. So the other one is the Joy sweater in the plus size. And when I last left you last week, I told you that I was going to start on the waistband of this one for this week. And I did. I did not quite get it finished. Very close. I will show it to you in just a moment. However, I'm going to take it out. I'm going to frog. So, okay. So here it is. And you can see that I have added the waistband in on it. And it is looking nice. Show you where I have not finished it. I have this much right here unfinished. But I am going to frog it because my skein of yarn also finished. And I probably went just a tad bit over my 2 hours. I was trying so hard to finish the waistband, but I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad time was up. I'm glad the yarn ran out. I decided to try it on because when I made Todd and Mr. Joyful's, I felt like they were a little bit too long. So I had adjusted the length of the pattern a little bit when I was doing this one. Because this is the only other adult one I've done, and I regret that. Because this one just fits. It comes right to the bottom of my tummy and right at my top of my hips. But I do like for my sweaters to be just a little bit longer. So I'm going to go ahead and add those 6 to 8 rounds back. I can't remember if it was 6 or 8 rounds that I took out. But when I look back at my pattern notes, I'll know. So I am going to frog the waistband of this back out. And I am going to add, let's see, how many color changes do I have? I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that would be 14 rounds, but if I look, that's only from the blue to the bottom of the white, and that would not be too long. That would not make it too long. That would actually, I think, make it perfect. So actually, I'm going to frog the waistband out, and I'm going to add another 14 rounds to it because each color is 2 rounds. And you're only looking at about maybe, that's probably, the 2 rounds are probably about 1 inch. So about 7 more inches. And I think that would make it just really comfortable and really make it kind of like a very relaxing sweater. And because I do plan on wearing this sweater a lot. So I definitely want it to be something that I feel comfortable in. And, when I talked to Todd about his sweater and I asked him, I said, did you feel like yours was too long? And he said no, he liked it like that. He likes it coming down below the belly and, you know, kind of like down on the waist and not just the waistband meeting the waist, the top of the waist. He likes it to come down a little bit, over the hips a little. So he said no, he thought it was perfect. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put those rounds back in. And if I think about it, because I did his where all the rounds completely completed themselves so that after because I'm making mine just like his. So actually it must have been 14 rounds that I took out. But anyway, I'm going to put them back in. I said 6 or 8, but I think it would have had to have been 14. Because his waistband was done the same way. This sweater is exactly identical to his, except it's a lot wider. So it had to have been 14 rounds that I took out, and I didn't realize I had subtracted that many from this to start with. But anyhow, so I'm going to fix that. And so I may or may not get the waist done at all for next week. And that's okay. That's okay, because I definitely want it done right. And this is also part of the reason that I'm doing this in so many different sizes for the kiddos and the adults, so that I can definitely figure out what I feel is going to work best for the pattern before I put it in other people's hands and before I get it completely written up. So if there's someone else that wants to make it, that's not testing the pattern for me, that they can, and that it will turn out correctly. So that's very important to me. So while we made progress, we are going to go backwards a little bit, but that's okay. But other than that, it looked really great on. It was just too short. And so it worked well when I made his mom's. I should have left it alone, but you know me. Sometimes I got to make things difficult and I have to learn the hard way. But maybe you're like that too. But anyway, so that is my Crafts of the Heart project updates for this week. And well, we'll just see what next week holds. All right. Well, please stay a little bit longer and look at all the wonderful and beautiful updates and progresses that our Crafts of the Heart family have made on their projects. Excuse me. And until next week, be joyful, stay crafty in your own way, make your own joyful creations, be the joy in everything you do, and find your joy. It is out there every day, just for you. All right. I'll see you next time. Bye.